Leviathan is a mythological creature that appears in several traditions, including the Hebrew Bible, Jewish folklore, Christian literature, and other mythologies around the world. Throughout history, Leviathan has been described in many ways, but in most representations, it is seen as a powerful and fearsome sea creature, often associated with primordial chaos and evil. I will tell a version of Leviathan's story, based on ancient traditions and mythological elements. Birth of the primordial waters. In times immemorial, long before humans walked the earth, there was a realm of infinite and dark waters. These waters were the cradle of ancient beings, immense and powerful creatures representing the primordial forces of chaos. Among them was Leviathan, a colossal monster that inhabited the deep oceans. It is said that Leviathan was created by God, not as part of the order of the universe, but as a manifestation of the wild chaos that existed before creation. Its appearance was terrifying, a sea dragon with scales that no iron or weapon could pierce, eyes glowing like flaming torches, and its breath was a fiery vapor that destroyed everything around it. Leviathan was the lord of the depths, and no creature dared to cross its path. Leviathan in the scriptures. Leviathan appears in several biblical passages, where it is described as one of God's most terrifying creations. In the book of Job, chapter 41, God describes Leviathan to Job, emphasizing the majesty and power of this sea creature, which no man could defeat. The text suggests that Leviathan is invulnerable, a creature that inspires fear in all who see it. Who can open the doors of its face? Its teeth are terrible around. Its back is made of rows of shields, tightly sealed together as with a close seal. Thus, Leviathan is a creature that demonstrates the vastness and uncontrollability of nature, and God's power over all things, including chaos. Leviathan in Jewish folklore. In Jewish folklore, particularly in the Midrash and the Talmud, Leviathan is described as a gigantic creature created on the fifth day of creation. According to tradition, God created two Leviathans, a male and a female. However, he realized that if both were to procreate, their offspring could destroy the world. To prevent this, God killed the female Leviathan and preserved her for the end of times. It is said that at the banquet of the end of times, the banquet of the righteous will eat the flesh of Leviathan and be blessed with eternal wisdom and justice. Leviathan, in this context, is a creature that transcends its destructive nature and becomes part of the final redemption and restoration of creation. Its death, rather than being an act of pure destruction, is part of the divine plan for the future of the world. Leviathan in Christian culture. In Christianity, Leviathan often symbolizes evil, sin, and the power of Satan. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 27, Leviathan is mentioned as a twisted serpent, which God will destroy at the end of times. In that day, the Lord with his hard, great, and strong sword shall punish Leviathan the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Here, Leviathan is identified with destructive and chaotic forces that oppose God and divine order. It is a metaphor for chaos, sin, and the forces of evil that, in the end, will be destroyed by divine justice. Leviathan in literature and mythology. Beyond biblical traditions, Leviathan also appears in other cultures and mythologies, usually as a sea monster. In many traditions, sea monsters like Leviathan symbolize the fears and mysteries of the deep sea, unknown and unpredictable. In Canaanite mythology, for example, there is a figure similar to Leviathan called Lotan, a sea serpent defeated by the god Baal, Orphan. The battle between a heroic god and a sea creature represents the struggle between order and chaos, good and evil. In Western literature, Leviathan continued to inspire writers and thinkers over the centuries. English philosopher Thomas Hobbes used Leviathan as a metaphor for the state in his most famous political work. Leviathan published in 1651. For Hobbes, Leviathan represented the absolute power of government, necessary to maintain order and avoid the chaos of human nature. The end of Leviathan at the end of times. According to many apocalyptic traditions, Leviathan will finally be destroyed. It is a creature that represents evil and disorder, but its destruction symbolizes the final victory of good over evil. In the biblical context, when Leviathan is defeated, it marks the beginning of a new era of peace and harmony, where chaos will be completely subdued and the kingdom of God will prevail. However, in some Jewish traditions, Leviathan is not only destroyed, it becomes part of the eschatological banquet, serving as food for the righteous. This final act of consuming Leviathan symbolizes the complete overcoming of evil and the integration of chaos into the new divine order. This is the complete story of Leviathan, a creature that crosses various traditions and symbolisms. From a force of primordial chaos to a symbol of defeated evil, Leviathan remains a powerful and enigmatic figure, reflecting both human fears and hopes for order and redemption in the cosmos. If you would like me to expand on any specific point or delve deeper into any aspect of this story, feel free to let me know.